Hello, dear friends. Father Daniel here as we break open the Word and explore the Scriptures now for the 11th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Happy Sabbath to you and God's peace to you and to your loved ones. You know, our world has always been a little crazy and noisy and just loud. But adding to the symphony of all of this noise now is all of the technology that is very much become part of our daily lives, if not our momentary lives. Where using this technology, such as our smartphones, it's so easy to find ways of making things easier and easier, and of getting results almost immediately. Almost instantaneous gratification for the things that we want or that we seek or desire. And friends, I am completely convinced, as in any age and with any circumstances, that God's grace is somehow weaving in and out of all of these things. But I have to be honest, I do not know if these sorts of realities are good for our interior lives, at least not all the time. Because when you think about it, true growth, authentic, organic growth, always happens usually in silence. It happens with patience and perseverance. It doesn't happen right away. It's not as we would like it always. You think of the growth of a child in the womb, for instance, happens for the most part in silence. Or the farmer, as we hear about in today's gospel, waiting for his fields to yield their crop, is a process of waiting, is a process of, for the large part, silence and hopeful anticipation. And friends, this is exactly what the readings are getting at for today's Mass. We hear St. Paul, of course, in that famous line telling us that we walk by faith and not by sight. In other words, our journey, and even the way we go about our journey as Christians, is not necessarily the way of the world. As a matter of fact, in most cases, it runs countercurrent to the ways of the world. And I have to agree that this is probably one of those ways. Jesus kind of illuminates what that path looks like when he talks about growth, as he says today, that first, when we talk about growth and the land's yielding fruit, you first have the blade, then the ear, and then the full grain in the ear. In other words, it does not happen right away or when we would like it, instantaneous as so many things. And friends, if you're in one of those places where perhaps you've hit a dry spot in your prayer, or you feel distant from God, it can become a temptation to immediately pull away because God, for some reason, does not act like our smartphone, because he doesn't immediately answer things, or maybe is a lot more subtle, usually a lot more subtle than the noise that kind of seems to infringe on us from every angle. And so my advice is, stick with it. Okay, turn to God in silence. Turn to God in patient prayer and perseverance. In those moments, you'd be surprised that perhaps it's entering those rather than running away from those moments that is exactly the key to our spiritual growth, such that we can deal with our longings inside. We can truly hear the voice of God that does not often speak in a loud or noisy way. And that we can persevere to see realities that if decisions had been made before, we might miss out on because we're so quick to want to grasp at things and to possess them. But friends, you will never possess God. You will never be able to easily acquire him the way we send a text message or go on social media and access information. Instead, this is a relationship that takes intention, that takes investment, and yes, that takes time. So friends, be patient with yourselves and be patient with God. He's not going to work like the technology works in today's world. He's going to challenge us for more. He's going to make us go deeper because we're not made for pleasure. We're made for greatness in God's eyes. And it's that we have to look toward. God bless you, friends. I do hope you have a happy Sabbath, and let's continue to pray for each other. God bless you.